I was a little nervous my first night at my grandparents' house. It was early morning and still dark outside. I woke up to the feeling that something was sniffing my ear. I looked all around my dark room but didn't see anything. I rolled over figuring it was a dream, and I heard something very loud in the floor. When I rolled over and looked, I saw something in the floor. It was dark, and all I could see was something crawling out of my room on its hands and knees very fast. I started screaming. Then Grandma started screaming, and her light came on. Grandpa came running into my room, his hair all messed up from sleeping, and he yelled, "What is it, boy?" I told him something was crawling in the floor. He laughed at me and said, "It's probably just a pack rat. You about killed your poor grandma. Her heart is pounding from waking her up from her sleep like that. We ain't used to that, boy." I apologized, but I knew it was no rat. It was way too big. Maybe it was just a nightmare. The next day, Grandpa asked me to help him with some hard work. We spent the morning cleaning up limbs and burning them in a big bonfire. After a while, Grandpa said, "You know what we need to do? Roast some marshmallows." We had a blast doing it too. Grandpa showed me how to catch them on fire and make them look like falling stars. I tried it. It was so much fun. I was swinging the marshmallow around, and Grandpa was laughing. Even Grandma was laughing. It was great to see. But then disaster struck. A flaming piece of marshmallow flew off and stuck to Grandpa's face. He just stared at me for a second, his beard and eyebrows on fire. I screamed, "Grandpa, you're burning." He screamed back and started slapping his face, and then took off running for the old bathtub we used as a dog trough. He dove into it, and Grandma came running out of the house, fishing pole in hand, looking worried. She helped Grandpa out of the tub, and it sounded like he was crying. I felt terrible. Grandma helped him into the house, and I was too afraid to follow. Later that night, I was afraid I'd have another visitor, so I set a trap. There was an old metal fire truck with a trailer that was stored in the closet. I carefully placed the fire truck on the floor in the dark, where I knew it would make a loud noise if anything disturbed it. With my trap set, I waited anxiously to see if anything would trigger it. I was jolted awake by a cacophony of sound coming from my room. It was like all hell had broken loose. I heard screaming, things crashing to the floor, the sound of objects being torn off the wall, and then something slammed into the floor with a loud thud. As I looked in horror, I saw it crawling under my bed. Without hesitation, I grabbed the fire truck trailer and slammed it down between its legs. My bed began to shake violently, rising up and down as whatever was under let out a low, mournful moan. I was paralyzed with fear. I dropped the trailer and sprinted to the bathroom, locking the door behind me. I collapsed to the floor, crying uncontrollably and terrified. I peeked under the bathroom door and saw Grandma's light on. I quietly got out of the bathroom and snuck into Grandpa's room to check on him. Grandma was sitting beside him, a sheet covering his body as she examined him. When she saw me, she yelled, "Get out, boy, Grandpa's sick." I quickly retreated to my bed, my heart racing. The next morning, I was relieved to hear Mom's voice calling out to me. She had arrived to take me home. As we prepared to leave, I noticed that Grandpa was nowhere to be found. Grandma explained that he was bedridden, too sick to see us off. I didn't think much of it at the time, but when I got into the car with Mom, I caught a glimpse of something that made me feel uneasy. A bite mark on the back of my neck, clearly made by human teeth. I kept quiet, unsure of what to say. Looking back, I think Grandpa might have been laid up in bed because of the injury I accidentally gave him. The blow to the groin, the bump on the head when he smashed into the bed frame. It's a theory that brings me mixed emotions. Now that both Grandma and Grandpa have passed away, I'm still left with unanswered questions. What was really going on that summer? Were they trying to hurt me? Were they trying to play with me in their own peculiar way? I'll never know for sure, but the memories of that strange and frightening summer will stay with me forever.